Well, good. Glad to hear it. We appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule to spend with the listeners as well. Hopefully, give them a little insight, a little bit more, uh, hopefully, confidence as they enter into retirement. And one of the bigger issues I think everybody wants to know how much money they're actually going to need to save to retire. And opinions, they're all over the place. Get this one for example: Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. He said this recently on his podcast.
You have to get to a place where you have $5 million in the bank because you can survive the rest of your life no matter what happens, and your family. You can take care of a lot of people making 6 or 7% of $5 million. When you make that, you have to set that aside and you don't risk it. Then after that, you can start to take risk capital and put it to work.
So I know what I did when I first heard that, but what is your reaction when you hear a number like that, like you need $5 million? What do you make of this, that you have to save that and then still have to take some risk in the market?
I don't know if you've ever watched Shark Tank, Dave. I don't know if you watch it or not, but I'm a fan. It's actually kind of neat. They do a lot of really nice things for people, and it's amazing. My wife and I will sit and we'll watch that show, and we'll see the craziest product. And then they show where are they now, and they're like making like millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. Some of these products that they're out there that they just made in their garage or their basement. It's amazing. But you were right, Chris. They do refer to him as Mr. Wonderful because he's a little a brass on the show. When I hear that, and I'm not in your lane, Dave, but when I hear $5 million, I think of our clients. I think of a lot of people that I know in my circle of friends. And I don't know too many people that actually have $5 million to retire on. So is that number realistic? I understand what he said was if you've got $5 million invested and you're getting 5-6% interest on that, you're going to be able to take care of a lot of people. Well, yeah, you got $5 million earning a lot of money on that, but most of the people that we deal with don't have $5 million. Do you see that in the clients that you work with?
Well, working in Northwest Ohio, the cost of living, I don't know where O'Leary lives, but I'm sure it's in a high-end location. And the people that he's dealing with on the other sharks, they're all living in high-end, high cost of living environments. In Toledo and Northwest Ohio, you don't need that kind of money. And I think, I've talked to my children. I have a 21, a soon-to-be 19, and a soon-to-be 17-year-old at home. And I told them that they might need $3 to $5 million when they retire in 40 years because we don't know what things are going to cost in 40 years. But that number, that's a no-risk number. If you have $5 million, you can live whatever kind of life you want and not have to worry about much.
Yeah, one of the things that obviously you and Nolan in the group that do the investments with everybody is I know when I first started working closely with the team and actually took up office here in the building, they had these nice little gifts that they made for $1 million clients, So one of the things that Nolan does is when somebody when their assets hit $1 million, they send them a nice little gift saying, congratulations, you've entered the Millionaire Club, right? Which is kind of neat. And like you said, Dave, around this area, 5 million, I don't know. I mean, you may want 5 million depending on your lifestyle. It depends on what kind of traveling you do, what kind of plans you have, if you're going to be a world traveler. But I guess the big thing is when it comes to the people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, how do you help them get to that $1 million investment if that's their goal? Those are the things that you and Chaz and Nolan here at the office work really hard at is getting their investments lined up so they can actually make or hit that $1 million goal.
When I first came back into financial services, it was in 2008, and the market had already pretty much taken a dump.
Oh, sure.
And so people were squeamish, and there were people that wanted to exit the market, and there were people that said, just move me to cash. Well, what we had to do with those folks is to get them to get back in the game, which quite honestly was March of 2009, because at that point there was a hedge fund guy from Pittsburgh by the name of David Tepper. I believe he owns the Carolina Panthers football franchise. he did an interview on CNBC and basically said, it doesn't matter what you buy anything, it's all going to go up. And he was right. And it led to an unbelievable rally that lasted for several years. But still, there were some people that had a hard time getting back into the risk side of investing. And the people that never got back in, their losses were permanent. They'll never recover from the 2008 drop.
Sure, I guess like the topic, do I need $1 million to retire? Well, I guess it depends. Do you need it? Not necessarily, depending on your lifestyle and depending on where you live. Obviously, with O'Leary, I don't know if he lives in California or not, but I'm sure he frequents there. He's a big wine connoisseur. But it's hard to say. Chris, I know you were going to jump in there and say something, but you deal with financial advisors all the time, and how many of them are telling you that you need $1 million? I mean, down in Atlanta, there's a lot of big money down in Atlanta and other big cities like that.
Well, here's a couple things that should be noted. Kevin O'Leary, he's from Montreal. I don't know if that's $5 million Canadian.
True.
It's still a lot of money. We're talking millions. And I don't think people out there should hear a number like that and be deterred, because it depends on your lifestyle, what you're comfortable with. You may not need $5 million. You probably don't need $5 million. You may not need $1 million. And I don't want you to feel like because you've saved, a couple $100,000 or what have you, that you're never going to be able to retire. My challenge to you out there is to give a call and sit down and speak with the team at America's Retirement Headquarters, because quite frankly, you may find out, you're in better shape than you thought, and that you can actually create a plan. The team can create a plan for you. Or on the other side of it, maybe there is work that needs to be done, but then you'll know the steps that you have to take. And I think that is invaluable, and how to get to wherever you want to be, whether that is, seeing a game at every baseball stadium or spending more time with the grandkids, whatever it is, putting pen to paper is the challenge, regardless of how much you save towards retirement, and see how to get there. The phone number, 419-794-3030. Real easy to get in touch with, 419-794-3030. You can find them online as well. Schedule a time there. Always available day and night, arhq.com.